So I'm a part of a few Facebook gardening groups, and a lot of them have been asking different questions on what type of potting mix that they should be using for either in their containers garden, their in-ground garden, or just their raised bed. So in this video, we're going to show you how to buy the correct potting mix, and we're going to start right now. What's going on, YouTube family? It's your boy Sydney from the Nakid Gardener channel. Hopefully after watching this video, you're going to learn the correct potting mix to buy, not only for your containers, but for your pockets. Now let's get growing. So what my objective is to show you what you're actually buying when you're purchasing a lot of these potting mixes from big box stores. So we're going to take about a 5-gallon bucket, and we're going to sift out the materials that is in there. A lot of these big box corporations that are selling you these potting mixes are selling you a lot of fillers like forestry products. Now what we're going to do is showing you what you're actually paying for after all of that has been sifted out. So we're going to start off with, a lot of people make a mistake with topsoil. So here we have a lot of people buy like some of this either topsoil or premium topsoil to incorporate with their potting mix. At the end of this video, we'll show you how we make our Nakid gardening mix, so that way you can have a good foundation for a potting mix. So we're going to open this up. This is roughly about $2.28 a bag. And as you can see, even with here, you have a lot of forestry products as well, not fully broken down. It looks like a lot of sand, silt, not too much clay, but this would not be good for a potting mix. A lot of people use for their potting mix, what you don't want to use is garden soil. Even though this is roughly about $3.97, you would think because it's garden soil that it's okay to use for your container mix, but it's not, for the simple fact it's very heavy. So we're going to show you what you're actually going to be getting inside of here. So most garden soils will have like these little fertilizer pellets. As you can see, it has some fungi, mycorrhizome in there that's breaking down in here. So it has some wood forestry products in here that's not fully broken down, but you definitely don't want to use this. Let me show you why. We're going to put this 5-gallon bucket and sift it. We're going to show you what you're actually buying.
Are you going to use your gloves? Do you have... So all of this is basically mulch.
Yep.
So basically in a potting bag, after you sort it, you have just as much mulch as you do actual usable potting mix.
Yeah, so this is why you shouldn't use garden soil. So this is a Kellogg's potting mix. It has some of these, I guess some perlites in here. It doesn't have as much forestry products. It looks like it has a lot of maybe some peat moss or some cocoa coir in there. But we're going to do the same process as this. This bag is roughly about $7.98, almost $8 you can say. So as you get up to the potting mixes and premium mixes, you can see it's going to cost you a lot more. So here we have the Miracle Grow Moisture Control potting mix. Now, I see that they have, just like on the other standard mix, they have the perlite. It looks like they also have a lot of vermiculite and more of a cocoa core, maybe a peat moss mix, which is one of the probably reasons why they have the moisture control on their content. This bag is roughly was $10.97 per bag. So here we have our Stay Green Premium Potting Mix. This is roughly about $7.98 per bag. It looks like it has a lot of forestry products in here, some perlite. They got these green pellets, so these are probably going to be the slow releasing fertilizer. It says on the bag it could fertilize your potting mix up to 9 months. So let's take a look at the potting mixes. Besides the Vigaro, this is a garden soil, so I wasn't expecting much from this. However, it does have a few perlites in there, and the forestry byproducts that is in there with some of the nutrients that's in here are kind of smaller than the normal wood product that they have right here. This has been the most wood products out of all of these. However, this is a cheaper brand than all of these, and like I said, later during the video we'll show you how to make a cheaper product out of all these potting mixes. The moisture control looks like it has a lot fluffier perlite, vermiculite, and peat moss that's in the bag itself, and doesn't have that much forestry byproducts. The Stay Green, it almost looked like it has some type of leaf mold or more broken down forestry byproducts in there, even though some of the byproducts on there is a lot chunkier.
When you say leaf mold, is that good or bad?
That is good. That's actually a good composting, one of the good composting materials that you can use as a potting mix or growing medium.
Of all of these, which one for the money do you think is the best deal? If somebody has to buy these and sift it like you did.
So far, I think the Stay Green will probably be the more bang for your buck. The only way that we can actually put that to a test is do a experiment out of all of these with our growing Nakid gardening mix to see which one is going to thrive the most out of the plant.
Are you plotting to do an experiment?
Ooh, me?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to show you how you could save some money by making your own potting mix, what we call our Nakid potting mix. What you usually do is do a 1 part of your own compost. Now, if you don't have compost, you can use like some regular big box store age compost, some leaf mold, or some age manure. Now, what we're going to do is we have our own compost, so we're going to use 1 part of compost, 1 part peat moss, and 1 part Black Kow. Then we're going to add some nutrients in there, and we'll show you about that later. Now, with peat moss, you can buy a 3 cubic feet bag of compressed peat moss for about a little bit over $10. A lot of people don't think that peat moss is as sustainable as cocoa core. However, peat moss for me more readily available, so therefore I'm going to always use peat moss unless they make a 3 cubic feet compressed cocoa core that I can use. Most of the times with that much you have to buy on Amazon, where I can just go to a big box store and get a 3 cubic feet worth of peat moss. Now we're using Black Kow. With that bag, it's roughly about a little bit over $5. I want to say it's like $5.78 per bag, and it's just a nice organic matter that you need to add to your soil. We also use this as a soil amendment for our raised beds when we had our other urban homestead. So once again, we're just going to sift this. Normally you don't have to, but sometimes there's some huge clunks that hasn't been broken down properly, so I'll just always sift most of my materials. So now, to kind of mimic some of the big box store brands, we're going to add some vermiculite. We're just going to do a scoopful, and this is going to help retain some of the moisture, even though we got a lot of organic matter already in there. Just kind of help with the container mix. So we're just using 1 scoopful. Definitely don't want to do this on the windy day. So now we're going to use some perlite, and this is going to allow drainage. We're going to do, let's do 2 scoops. Normally you could do 1 scoop. It's up to your discretion. So next is we're going to add some azomite. Now this is totally optional. All this is going to allow some trace minerals that's going to be incorporated with your potting mix, so that allows the soil to give it to your plants. It has all the trace minerals from A to Z.
How much is a bag of azomite, and how long has that bag lasted you?
We had this bag for since August, from when we left the homesteading life conference.
When we learned about it.
Yeah, from when we learned about it. I think this bag was, this is a 44-pound bag. I think it was like maybe $40–50. We got it from Amazon. We'll put the description of our Amazon link so that way you can get it. Kind of helps us out a little bit. Doesn't give any extra cost to you. What we're going to do is we're going to add 1 cup of that into there. So now we have our secret ingredient, our very own worm castings. For this, I'll probably just do 1 scoop. Now, if you have your own worm casting, you want to keep it dry yet moist. And as you can see, this is still moist and it's definitely dry.
So you want to be able to kind of ball it up and have it fall apart?
Yeah, so I mean, just like that, you see it just crumbles. We're just going to use, we have some castings in here, and as you can see, we got some of the worms already hatched from there.
Aww.
So we're going to take 1 good scoop and add it in. Now, if you want to add worm castings to your very own potting mix, you can go to the big box stores. Some of them range. We just went to, I think it was Home Depot, and they had, for a 7-pound bag, almost $8. For that, all it took was our own waste and some of our own peat moss. So as you can see, the peat moss, we didn't use that much of the peat moss. The perlite, I believe the perlite was about $16.
And that perlite, for the amount that we use, it lasts us approximately
about a season's worth, a full growing season, I would say, like either spring, summer, or fall, how much we start seeds with.
Yeah, and the point I'm making is that we do invest in some individual bags of things, but they are things that cost less than what you would go get at the store per bag.
With the vermiculite, that's about $20. So, and we only use 1 scoop of that. So you got a very little bit of the $10, a very little bit of the perlite, very little bit of the vermiculite, and the azomite, and the free amount of worm casting. It probably costs as much as, probably not even as much as with these premium potting mix that with this behind me. Plus, we know what's actually in it.
So far, our mix is closely resembling the Stay Green.
I don't know, I think it kind of goes with that one.
And that is the Miracle Grow
Moisture control. So hopefully after watching this video, you have learned which potting mix is going to give you more bang for your buck. Now, if you're not going to be making your own potting mix, and you're going to be doing the conventional of buying your commercial potting mix, hopefully you'll be sifting out that, so that way the forestry product that's in that soil mix will not be robbing the nutrients that's going to be in your potting mix that's going to be feeding your plants. So I hope you like this video. If so, make sure you give us a thumbs up. It really helps our channel out. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss an upload. So we do other experiments. We'll put a video above here so that way you can follow along. Until the next video, let's grow together.
When I will let it grow.